What is up, guys? Today is a very exciting day. Have a lot of fun activities planned. I'm currently driving the AP1 S2000. Yes, it's back on the road, which is very exciting. I'm on my way up to Mass to visit a good friend of mine, and we're going to be shooting some video for one of his cars, doing a road impression for it, which is a Lexus IS300 Sport Cross that he's got quite a bit of suspension development and some other cool bits into. And we're also going to be just kind of going over his shop and some of his space. He might start doing more videos with me, and you might be seeing him in the near future. So I figure this would be a great way to kind of introduce him to the channel and get you guys all familiar with him. The other reason is that now that Project AP1 is back out on the road finally, I'm not too happy with the way the car is driving right now. It definitely has too much push, and it really needs an alignment. I threw my camber gauge on it real quick the other day, and it's just whack. I haven't aligned this car in quite a while, and I haven't aligned this since I was daily driving it on the stock suspension, which is like pretty sad and pathetic. But the sad fact of the reality is that it's hard to find an alignment place that I don't mind bringing it to. I'd rather do it myself. I have a friend who works at a dealer, and if I can get in there, he just lets me do my own thing, so it comes out exactly how I want. I don't have to worry about anything cockamamie being done. But at least going up to my buddy's place here, he's got a top-of-the-line Hunter alignment rack, and him and I could take our time and just get the car dialed in for a much better baseline. So once that happens, I'll definitely get it out and do a proper road impression. But I really want to have it aligned and kind of dialed in a little bit better before I take it out, because right now it's just kind of an understeering pig, and I hate it a little bit. So engine and everything's pretty good though. It's really nice to feel this motor over the AP1. I mean the AP2, sorry. It just fucking, this thing is rips. Snaps those revs real fast. So that's really cool. Plus this car is definitely lighter, and you feel that awesome. So need to get the suspension working right, and I think I'll be pretty happy. But I figured also while I'm doing this, I'll take the time to do a little Q&A stuff, some questions that I've seen you guys asking on the channel. Now, I didn't take down each individual's names. I just kind of saw a couple of repeat questions, so I figure I'd take this time now to address them. And the first one is, a couple people asked, what's my automotive background? So kind of like where did I get my start with everything? And it's kind of funny because I come from my direct family that I grew up with. Nobody was in the cars. They kind of hated cars, and for whatever reason, before I even had my license, I was like obsessed. I wanted to have a cool car, a cool sports car. I didn't even really care so much about the driving aspect of it, but like at a young age, I was just really drawn to sporty looking automobiles. And then as soon as I got my license, got in the cars, and then I started to experience those things and kind of get my hands into them a little bit, it obviously just snowballed and spiraled out of control, and pretty much led to me getting up to go to work every day just so I can support my car passion. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that I never went to school for automotive. It's all just kind of trial and error, diving into projects, asking for help when I'm encountering things that are over my head or that I don't understand. Doing a lot of research and looking up others who have done it, and kind of, making your own path to address things based on what others have done. I don't show it always in my videos, but for those of you at home who want to get more involved and do your own car work, I totally encourage it, because yes, it's intimidating. Yes, you're going to find yourself in situations where you feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. But every car project, for the most part, never always goes like that, and nothing ever goes smoothly. You're going to break stuff. You're going to fucking strip stuff. You're going to snap rust this stuff off. That's all a part of doing the car thing. I've had plenty of fuck-ups in my day. I'm a little bit better now because I've been doing it for so long that, once you kind of build that foundation, you just know the steps to go about to tackle an automotive project. So really it's like, yeah, I don't know how to do everything, but like when it's something that I haven't done, I just do my research, and because you already have that foundation built, like how to tackle automotive tasks, it's not a big deal. And then the great thing is those mechanical abilities, they transfer over to like home improvement stuff. I can't tell you how beneficial that skill set has been for like doing stuff around the house, getting involved in doing electrical work, plumbing, sheetrock, paint, like all that stuff. If it's kind of the method behind it all is the same, and it's universal as you approach everything. Sure, you do your background research first, and then you just kind of, as you kind of tackle these things, you get involved, you just know what to do. So that's kind of about it. The only thing that I'm not super experienced in is the tuning aspect. I can tune a car, having gone and I mean, more than half of my cars have fucking standalone ECUs in them now, and I've learned a lot from my friend who does most of my tuning. So I can get a car safe where it's not going to blow up, but usually it's more beneficial to bring him with me just because he can get it done quicker than I can, and he'll definitely be like closer to a safe margin, like leaving a safer margin to the limit than I would be. So that's just something that I still have to develop and work on going forward. But yeah, that's kind of it. So no real automotive background, just kind of a passion that really truly like spiraled out of control, and here I am. So another question that I got was, what are my thoughts on the ND Miata, and have I driven one? So yes, I've driven an ND Miata. It wasn't a terribly long stint, but it was in a local Miata club. One of the owners there, he had just recently picked one up. It was a Grand Touring, so it was like an open diff one, and he let me take it for a ride, and I just kind of felt it out a little bit. So my impressions, to give it like summarize it briefly, is I love the look of the ND. I think the body lines and the sharper headlights and the round tail lights, the way they kind of taper off to the little ovals coming off of them, I think it's a gorgeous body design. I think it's fantastic that they brought the weight down. I'm a little disappointed that the car shrunk in dimensions. I kind of like the size of the NC. I think the NC is a little bit, it's I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's not too Mickey Mouse, and it offers the cabin room, I think, is very sufficient, so like you can kind of like really dual purpose that car. I wish they kind of kept those same dimensions with the ND, but I understand probably part of them shrinking everything down was how they shed the weight off that car. I guess the biggest disappointment for me, and this has kind of been like a similar trend with all Mazdas, is the power plant package. I really wish Mazda would kind of step out of their comfort zone a little bit and put a special engine in a car. And I'm not even saying like mass produce the thing with a special motor, but like offer like a Mazda Speed version, or like kind of like the more like track day, like club racer, like enthusiast car, like how Porsche has like their GT3, or like even like how Honda created the S2000, right? Like something that is still street worthy, but has like a snappier, revier engine. So like, I'm gonna use the F20C as an example, because like, this is arguably one of the best like production motors ever. It just fucking, you put your foot down, and this thing feels special. This is a fantastic engine, and like, I use this as the benchmark for like a high-strung like 4-cylinder motor. Like, this is the benchmark, and it's just a shame to me that Mazda never said, hey, why don't we just make it like a special offering for like those who want something more, so then you're not stuck with a car that like you really feel the need, you have to modify it a lot more just to kind of get that performance. I don't think a car needs to be like ridiculously fast to be like really great balanced all around, but like, something that runs like a mid 13 second to high 13 second quarter mile out of the box, that's pretty good. And especially in a lightweight car like that, I think that would be almost perfect. So that motor's a cool motor. It's interesting how, you know, it's such high compression and it's torquey for a 4-cylinder. That's 2 liters, but I think there's something wrong when you keep displacement the same as your outgoing model. You up compression by 3 or 3.5 points, whatever the difference is, yet it still makes less power than the outgoing engine. So I have to say that's a little bit of a letdown there. But so that's my thoughts on the ND. And the last question that I got was, what are my thoughts on swapping engines of a different manufacturer into a chassis? So like V8 swaps into Miatas, RX-7s, K swaps, and whatever else. I'm not against it. I think it's definitely cool. You know, let's face it, like BP Miata engines, they're nothing spectacular, and I think the K series swaps for them is amazing. I think that's such a cool engine package, and ultimately that's where my NB Miata is going to wind up. The V8 stuff, I think it kind of makes the car a little bit silly just because it's a chassis designed around 100 horsepower, and I think the amount of torque that's going to come out of the LS might just kind of make the car a little bit of a joke. But I'm not saying that it's not cool. It's definitely cool. It's just that if I was doing it, I would probably go with like a K series or something like that. The RX-7s are the only cars that I'm a little bit on the fritz about, because I think people, and I think it's because of the reason why people say they're swapping the motor and they go LS. A lot of it always comes down to, they say, the reliability. And there's a lot of misconceptions out there about rotary engines. Yes, they're finicky, and yes, they require a certain amount of, let's say, precision when you're setting them up. Like they're a little bit more sensitive to things like detonation and stuff versus like a piston engine. But if you build them right, they're fantastic. They're super cheap to ever rebuild if you have to rebuild them, and it's just really neat how it's such a small, compact power plant that could be mounted lower down and farther back. So when you go from a 13B to like an LS in an FD, I mean, you're getting like the 13B almost makes the car front midship. It's like right there at the suspension mounting points, the front casings of the motor. When you put a V8 in there, it definitely makes the car a true FR car and gives it a much more frontward weight bias. Now, I love the FD, and I think part of the FD is the total package of keeping it a rotary car. I'm not going to hate on somebody for swapping it over to an LS, because I understand that like the 13B or 20B, whatever rotary engine is not an end-all motor. I totally acknowledge that and I understand it, so I'm not gonna chastise somebody for doing a V8 swap. But those of you who are considering that, I would really just think about it. And like if you're down about your motor, go drive a properly set up rotary powered car before you make your decision, because they really are truly fantastic, and the engine note is just completely unique, and I think that makes it a truly unique driving experience. So that's about it for this Q&A. We'll have some more footage coming up soon with lining this car and going over all Orion stuff. But now this car is back and on the road, so look forward. I already filmed a lot of other projects for this car: soft top delete, front sway bar install, hard top install, seat install. All that's going to be coming to the channel soon, so look forward to that. And as always, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you like these videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down and tell me they suck. But either way, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time, and till next time, that's it for now. Done.
Hunter, Hawkeye, something or other. WA400 wing align.
One of the most baller Hunter alignment racks in the world here.
It's a WA480 wing align.
It's got LED strips. Very fancy. And we are done after a lot longer than what we were hoping for. But where the alignment's at now, where it was originally, is way better. And I think that this is going to drastically change the car's behavior. So like I was saying, it was quite an understeering pig before. Toe was all whacked out of shape. I had a lot less camber in the front than I did in the rear, which also contributes to that sort of condition. And these are the final numbers. I wanted more camber in the front than in the rear because I want nice rotation and asshole ability. One of my biggest goals with the S2000 is to try to make it as assholeable as possible. And this is a car that, from my experience, doesn't really care to be put out of shape. It really kind of fights you when you start to like try to slide it around a lot. But I've never had this car aligned as good as I do now. So this is going to be rather interesting. And I'll just kind of give you guys some underbody shots here. The eccentrics weren't that bad. I mean, these are 126,000 mile eccentrics on this car, and they all loosened up, even the tie rods. This one needed a little bit of heat to crack loose, but wasn't too bad otherwise. What I'd like to do this winter is take everything off of this car, all the suspension stuff. I think I'm even going to go to the AP2 rear subframe and the upper control arms, and just have everything powder coated nicey nice, and just kind of give it the treatment that I've given my other cars. I don't know if I'd actually undercoat this body though, because it's pretty clean. This car has like literally never seen winter. Here's the exhaust setup. I never got a good shot of this. I guess I'll take advantage of this not being up on the list. So this was an NVIDIA Q300, and like I said, I lopped the tips off, put Schedule 40 tips on it, cut out that shitty silencer pipe that they used, that restrictor pipe on the inside. Here's the bigger vibrant resonator that I welded in. All the way up to a T1R resonated 70mm test pipe, and then finally the J's Racing exhaust. But yeah, I mean, the underside of this car is very clean. It wouldn't warrant me going over the underbody, but I may, just to like make it look nice. We'll see how productive I'm feeling. But this alignment rack is freaking awesome. When I was under here adjusting stuff, like having these LED lights on the running board, you have great visibility of everything. It has a wireless monitor that you can bring back and just kind of perch right here so you could see your numbers, just because you have hard visibility to the screen. It's really a cool setup. And I guess while Ryan's in the can, I'll show you guys some of his project cars. This is one of his MR2s. I didn't drive this car yet. This is going to get the engine setup that was in his white Turbo Spider, which is now going to be going to a 2ZZ. There's all their welding equipment here. And I'm not going to talk about these cars too much, just because we're going to do a video with Ryan, and you guys are going to kind of get to hear about who he is. Some of these builds, this thing is unbelievable. This long travel suspension, I don't know, I guess you would call it kind of like a trophy truck that he's sort of building here. This thing is going to be pretty wild, and I'm really excited because it's going to be a lot of fun doing some nutso shit with that once it's all finished. This old FJ4, that's the, I think it's a 4.7 or a 5, it's one of the older iron block LSs. I don't remember exactly what size he's got, but that's going in the truck. There's a Sport Cross, which we're doing a driving impression for. And then this project car Camaro that he actually inherited. He's not in love with the car, but it came from a really good friend of his who unfortunately passed away early from cancer. So Ryan's going to kind of see that build through in his memory, which is really awesome, and kind of build it into like sort of a more of a time attack, kind of crazier sort of thing. But it's pretty nice shop. It's just too bad that he's almost a 2-hour drive from me. Otherwise, we'd be able to get together a lot more. But we'll be doing more stuff together anyways going forward. So that's about it. Last shot of the AP1. Bam. All right, guys. till next time. Done.
Material witness, I'm sure that is, okay?